Welcome, it's Dr. Sarah Larsen, and we are doing A Course in Miracles. I am here with Greg Roach and Greg Larsen. Welcome, Greg Roach. Welcome, Greg Larsen. Please say hi, Greg Roach.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hello, everyone. This is Greg Larsen.
Yes, awesome. And we're doing lesson number 16, which is such a beautiful one. I have no neutral thoughts. The idea for today is a beginning step in dispelling the belief that your thoughts have no effect. Everything you see is the result of your thoughts. There's no exception to this fact. Thoughts are not big or little, powerful or weak. They're merely true or false. Those that are true create their own likeness. Those that are false make theirs. There is no more self-contradictory concept than that of the ideal thought, which gives rise to the perception of a whole world can hardly be called idle. Every thought you have contributes to the truth or to the illusion. Either it extends the truth or it multiplies illusions. You can indeed multiply nothing, but you will not extend it by doing so. And so, Greg Larsen, baby Larsen, I'd love your thoughts on this.
Well, I think it's, key to, and they touched upon this before, but it's so true, is that every thought carries an energy with it. And so there's no thought that's neutral. They're just not there in a nebulous floating around. There's an energy behind every thought. And as it says just a little bit further down, that those thoughts can either bring peace or war or love or fear. And, if you have loving thoughts, then it extends that to more and more loving thoughts. But if you have angry or complaining or, frustrated thoughts, then then as it says here, it just continues with that, and it builds upon that. And even though you have a complaining thought or an angry thought, and you're like try to brush it off, you have to realize that there's a deeper energy below that will sustain more angry thoughts, more frustrated thoughts. And until you really realize that and train yourself to wake up to that fact, and then consciously think thoughts that are loving or peaceful, you're going to be trapped in that vicious cycle of being stuck in thoughts that generate war. If it's not war with someone else, it's war within yourself. Oh, you keep making mistakes, you keep blowing it, or you blew it in the past, or you're probably going to mess it up in the future somehow. And if you don't realize, wow, those are not idle thoughts. Those are thoughts that are powerfully creating not only this reality right now, but a reality you're going to live, because it's extending out from there if you don't realize that.
That's so beautiful. And I'd love to hear your take on that, Greg Roach, as well.
The thing that occurred to me as I was reviewing this lesson is that it's the distinction between value and potency. We want to kind of go, well, this is good and this is bad, and so if this is good, I can do this, but that's bad, so I'll avoid that. But I think thoughts are sort of like bullets. Is there such a thing as a good bullet? The end result of a bullet is always the same. There's always an act of destruction at the end of a bullet. And so the implication of that, and so you want to go, well, I shot a bear that was going to eat me, or I shot an intruder that was coming into my home, so that was a good bullet, or I accidentally shot an innocent person, well, that was a bad bullet. No, the bullet's neutral. The bullet is always going to do what a bullet does. And so the implication of that is it's the responsibility, that lies with you about how you're going to apply that tremendous power. And so what this lesson is telling us is that the thoughts have this tremendous power to them. The idea that they're not trivial, they're not neutral, they're not, just a passing thing, an idle thought. I don't know if that's in this lesson or one of the adjacent lessons where they talk about, how strange that idea is, and an idle thought. So.
I think it's in this lesson, and those are both such beautiful points. And I love doing this course with my husband. It's so great to really look at and practice these and apply these ideas for every day. And so searching our mind, we can go back to, and anyone who's doing the lessons with us, it's really great because you can hear sort of what happens as we progress through the lessons. There are no neutral thoughts. You know, lesson 15, we talked about our mind. We're not seeing what we think we're seeing. We create that seeing in our mind. And when we correct our seeing abilities, when we actually begin to see, we then see the possibility around everything. And so I love the bullet analogy so much as well. And Nobel Prize-winning physicists have proved beyond doubt that the physical world is one large sea of energy that flashes into and out of being in milliseconds over and over again, that nothing is solid. And so that they have proven that thoughts are what put together and hold together this ever-changing energy field into the objects that we see. And it's so cool that it's written in lesson 16 in the Course in Miracles. So it's so why do we see a person instead of a flashing cluster of energy? And it's very much like a movie reel. You know, we're seeing so many frames a minute, so many frames a second on a movie screen, and yet we think that the action happening on the screen is one consistent action. So a movie is a collection of about 24 frames a second, and each frame is separated by a gap. Each one of our looking out into the world is flashing in and creating an image in our head, as are these thoughts. And when we take this lesson in and we recognize that thoughts are never idle, and if we take that thought and feel love or expression or a likeness out of that, then it's a true thought. But if we're creating something that is not expansive, not a possibility, then it's not true or thought of God. And the Course in Miracles speaks to thoughts of God. And again, I would reframe the word God for anyone that doesn't resonate with that word to be the word possibility, thoughts of possibilities. Thoughts as we know them are private. Thoughts of God as we know them are private, fleeting products of an individual mind. Yet these are not real thoughts, it says in the Course. In contrast, thoughts of God, thoughts of possibility, are eternal, formless realities without birth or death, beginning or end. They are not private, but definitely shared. So when we have our own thought, one that's fear-based, it will not hold absolutely true in every situation. And when we think of Martin Luther King's words or Gandhi's words or the words of children, these are the thoughts. They're eternal. They're formless realities without birth or death. The original Martin Luther that freed much of Europe, much of the world, formed the Lutheran Church. Martin Luther King Jr. that freed and brought together also another Nobel Peace Prize winner that brought together equal treatment, not based on color in this country. When and Gandhi based nonviolent principles, those have lasted the test of time, and so those thoughts are of God. They're eternal. They're formless realities without birth or death, beginning or end. So when this one really got I used to have so much fear and jealousy, and I used to have not unworthy thoughts, meaning myself feeling unworthy. And this lesson really freed me when I got and practiced lesson 16. I sat with this one for a little while to really get, wow, if a thought contracts me or could not stand the test of time, it's not a true thought. It's not a thought of possibility. It's not a thought of God. And so I really, really loved this lesson. And so, Greg Roach, I'd love for you to throw what comes in for you with this.
Well, I go back to the bullet analogy, you know, and if we could see the results of our thoughts the way that we could see the results of a bullet, we'd be a lot more careful with them.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you so much. Greg Larsen, I'd love to hear yours.
That's just it. You just have to be, you know, you have to be like a warrior in enemy territory. You have to be on your feet. You have to be on guard. And it's very simple. It's either a thought based in love or a thought based in fear. It's a thought that creates peace or a thought that creates, in a sense, war, inner struggle. So it's very clear to sense what that energy is. So just be very mindful of the energy of your thoughts, and if you can steer yourself towards the direction of loving thoughts or peaceful thoughts, then you know you're on the right course.
That's so beautiful. And so I'm so glad that you all were with us for lesson number 17, lesson number 16, which is, and we will see you in lesson number 17. Thank you so much.